Have you ever spoken to your family, only to later recognize that your words might have caused them significant pain? It's an experience we've all shared. Expressing thoughts without reflection can inadvertently foster separation from those we hold dear. However, the point is this. As we age, the language we choose carries a significance we may not have fully appreciated before. They have the choice to construct connections or dismantle them. Imagine if the way you communicate with your family today could influence the dynamics of your relationships for years ahead. In this video, I will reveal 5 impactful lessons on what not to say to your children, your partner, and those you care about. Insights that have the potential to reshape your family relationships and nurture more profound, affectionate bonds. You'll uncover the significance of small, daily remarks, and how grasping this can foster tranquility and unity within your household. However, there's more to it than that. By the conclusion of this video, you'll discover the reasons why, while money holds significance, it is not the foundation that sustains a family's strength. The connections we foster and the support we provide to one another are truly profound. I will explore how harsh words, despite our intentions of being helpful, can result in regret and create emotional distance. If you're prepared to enhance your family connections and steer clear of the common pitfalls that arise with age, then stay with me. Be sure to embrace these essential insights that will help you avoid needless disputes and lead you to a richer, more connected family experience. Keep your attention focused until the conclusion. I assure you, you'll be eager to discover all 5 lessons. I suggest you subscribe and turn on the notification bell to ensure you catch all the videos as they come out. Your encouragement is truly appreciated, and if this video resonated with you, consider helping me share these important insights by liking and sharing it. If this video resonates with you, feel free to drop a comment with a 1. If you have any suggestions, please comment 0 to share how I can enhance and create better videos for you. Let us commence. Sentence 1, I possess wealth, my children are not obligated to look after me. When I uttered those words, I believed I was proclaiming my autonomy, affirming my ability to stand alone in a world where the passage of time can frequently leave us feeling exposed and dependent. As I ponder those words now, I realize how greatly I misinterpreted the profound significance of family and connection. An age-old adage that has always struck a chord with me states that affluent parents may provide their offspring with every material possession, yet they cannot bestow upon them the gift of eternal life. It's a reality that resonates beyond mere poetic expression. It strikes at the core of what truly holds significance in life. While material wealth holds significance, it cannot protect us from the passage of time, nor can it substitute for the love, warmth, and emotional support that family provides, particularly as we grow older. At this moment, at the age of 75, I am deep in thought about the path my life has taken. It has been a lengthy journey, at times filled with joy, at other moments steeped in regret, yet always rich with lessons that I am only now beginning to grasp completely. In my earlier days, I believed I had everything sorted. I held the conviction that through diligent effort and wise financial choices, I could achieve a life that was both fulfilling and secure. I concentrated intently on ensuring my finances were secure, convinced that this would assure me a comfortable retirement, devoid of the anxiety of being a burden. How mistaken I was. I never imagined that the true essence of life lies not in financial assets or investments, but in the connections we nurture, the ties that cannot be purchased but are forged through time, trust, and unwavering love. My husband and I served as public servants, enjoying a lifestyle of understated elegance. Wavid has consistently approached financial planning with caution, ensuring a secure future for us. We envisioned a future filled with tranquility, where we could explore new places, cherish our moments together, and, above all, ensure we were not a source of concern for our children. When our son tied the knot, we invested the remainder of our savings to assist him in purchasing a home. We believed it was our responsibility as caregivers. The sense of pride washed over me as I passed the money, convinced that this gesture would provide him with the solid groundwork essential for beginning his family. In that instant, I believed I was engaging in an act of pure selflessness, a gesture that would demonstrate the depth of our love for him. Yet, I was unaware of the profound impact this gesture would have on what lay ahead, how it would reshape the dynamics within our family and our positions within it. Following our son's wedding, my husband and I concluded that it was the right moment to embrace independence. After putting in so much effort, we felt it was finally the moment to savor the rewards of our hard work. We aimed to avoid burdening our children or unsettling their routines, so we devised a strategy to look after ourselves. We reassured ourselves that we have the means, and our children are not obligated to look after us. It was a declaration that I believed embodied resilience, autonomy, and insight. However, I now realize how those words inadvertently constructed a barrier between us, forming a divide that complicated our emotional connection with our children, particularly as circumstances began to shift. Time flowed on, and then arrived the delight of welcoming our grandchild into the world. Yet, I stood resolute in my choice to refrain from assisting with the upbringing of the child. I felt it wasn't my role to intrude upon my son's family life. I believed they ought to manage it independently, allowing me to stay on the sidelines and continue with my own life. This choice created strain, and it caused pain for my daughter-in-law. I realized that my wish to remain uninvolved in their lives and my hesitation to engage in their everyday experiences has fostered a sense of separation. A sense of emotional detachment that went unnoticed by me back then. I failed to recognize the profound impact my choice had on our family, leaving my children to bear the burden of responsibility without the solace of my presence for support. And then, as life often unfolds, everything transforms. The transformation of my husband, the one who had always stood by me, left me with an emptiness as he was suddenly no longer there. A stroke claimed him far too early, leaving me isolated and exposed in a world that now seemed profoundly emptier. The truth of solitude struck me with a force I never anticipated. The aspirations I once held, the choices I was so confident in, appeared so innocent when confronted with such profound sorrow. I found myself questioning the strength and independence I once believed defined me. I was once a grieving widow, now acutely conscious of all that I had overlooked. In these serene instances of contemplation, I finally grasped the insights I had overlooked for such an extended period. I have come to understand that wealth, regardless of its magnitude, cannot substitute for the profound and unwavering bond that family provides. The affection of our little ones, the comfort of collective moments, the happiness that comes from the knowledge of having someone who truly cares for you. These are the gems that truly count. These are the essentials we genuinely require as we age. These are the elements that invigorate our spirits, foster connections, and affirm our worth. With the passage of time, I've grown to appreciate the wisdom of my beloved neighbor, Grandma Burien, who frequently reminded me that wealth or poverty holds little significance. What truly matters is the happiness that comes from having my children together. I once regarded her words as overly sentimental, perhaps even a bit naive. However, having traversed the profound landscape of solitude, I now grasp their essence completely. Throughout our lives, we dedicate ourselves to striving for our families, yet ultimately, it's the connections we cultivate that hold true significance, not the possessions we accumulate. The warmth of companionship, the comfort of connection, the tenderness of love, these are the elements that occupy the voids within our souls. Amidst everything, I've gained a lesson of great worth. Always consider the importance of your children in your life. Do not take for granted that independence is a constant state. It's simple to allow pride and stubbornness to lead our actions, yet in doing so, we jeopardize our connection with those who might provide us with solace and affection. The expressions we share, despite our best intentions, can inadvertently cause pain to others. When it comes to family, no wealth can bridge the chasm created by emotional separation. If you're still engaged with this video and appreciate the lessons, I'd love for you to drop a comment below to show me you're still with me. As I navigate the later chapters of my life, I feel a deep longing for the comforting presence of my children. I long for their laughter, their touch, their unwavering support. I have come to realize that the greatest asset in life is not financial stability, but rather the emotional bonds we cultivate with one another. I will always cherish the insights that have illuminated this truth for me. Family is more than a duty. This is the ultimate treasure of existence. Sentence 2. Share your financial plans with your children. An age-old adage encapsulates the intricate harmony between prosperity and kinship. Wealth can be both a blessing and a curse. When utilized thoughtfully, it fosters joy. When misused, it can cause significant damage. Financial stability is frequently regarded as the foundation of a joyful and secure existence. However, the situation is far more intricate than it appears. Abundance by itself does not ensure harmony within the household. Financial difficulties do not inherently indicate a deficiency in love or joy. The genuine power and affection of a family stem not from financial wealth but from the care, respect, and ongoing commitment invested in relationships throughout the years. Having journeyed through over 70 years of existence, I have encountered the entire range of life's highs and lows. Times of abundance and periods of struggle, tears of happiness and sorrow. Reflecting on the past, I understand that the enduring insights shared by my elders possess a significance today that far exceeds my previous expectations. In my formative years, much like many others, I labored diligently, frequently to the brink of fatigue, to secure a stable future for my family. I genuinely thought that having financial stability would unlock the door to enduring joy. As the years went by and life revealed its surprises, I discovered a profound lesson. While essential, money is not the binding force that unites a family. If approached without caution, it may transform into the very force that drives individuals apart. My thoughts frequently drift to my beloved old companion, Uncle Pran. His life, rich with love and commitment to his children, has transformed into a haunting narrative that lingers in my thoughts. He was among the most compassionate and diligent individuals I had the pleasure of knowing, wholly dedicated to his family above everything else. For 4 years, he pinched pennies and made sacrifices, resolute in his mission to give his children every chance he could muster. His aim was unmistakable: to guarantee they received a quality education, to safeguard their future, and to provide them with the opportunity to flourish. He was willing to forego his own comfort for their advantage. Even in retirement, he maintained a frugal lifestyle, firmly believing that his careful savings would ultimately unlock not only his financial independence but also the harmony of his family. Yet, a solitary choice, rooted in trepidation and doubt, would change the trajectory of his existence eternally. As Uncle Pran's health started to wane, a deep-seated dread took hold of his heart. Who will look after him as he grows older? Whom could he rely on for his future? Yearning for tranquility, he brought his children close and, burdened by emotion, revealed his financial strategies. He shared with them the savings he had meticulously accumulated, revealing that the individual who welcomed him in during his twilight years would receive it all as an inheritance. In that moment, it appeared to be a sensible ask, a means of securing his family's future well-being. Yet, he remained unaware that this simple act would dismantle the core of his family's connection. Not, the eldest son, was the first to step forward with enthusiasm, extending an invitation for his father to stay at his home. It seemed like an ideal resolution. Initially, the affection in their bond and his assurances appeared genuinely heartfelt. Yet, as time inevitably unfolds, it reveals the fractures hidden just below the exterior. Initially, the financial needs were modest, limited to a handful of home repairs and the occasional medical expense. Uncle Pran, ever the benevolent figure, offered his gifts without hesitation, seeking only to lend a hand. As time passed, the requests became increasingly frequent and more significant. He required no funds for this business endeavor, nor for that one, and soon enough, the amounts he requested reached staggering heights. Every time, Uncle Pran found it impossible to say no, convinced that assisting his son was the honorable choice. Yet, in the process, he depleted the hard-earned savings that had taken him a lifetime to build, until one fateful day, he came to the stark realization that he had nothing remaining. As the funds dwindled, the transformation in naught was both jarring and excruciating. The affection that once characterized their bond faded away, giving way to chilliness and bitterness. Naught, who was once affectionate and caring, has now turned cold and unkind. He started to wonder if his father had been honest regarding his finances, and before long, mistrust and uncertainty overshadowed their every exchange. The connection that was once vibrant gradually morphed into something entirely foreign. In a moment of despair, Uncle Prun sought solace from his other children, yet they stood mute, frozen by the conviction that their brother, Not, had been given all the responsibility. In their gaze, there was no justification for interference. The anguish in Uncle Prun's voice when he addressed me lingers in my mind. He expressed that he believed being open with his children regarding his finances would foster security and harmony. Yet, it turned into the source of my solitude. I erred in believing that wealth would unite my family, but in truth, it only created distance between us. His voice quivered as he uttered those words, and in that instant, I grasped the profoundness of his remorse. Their separation wasn't due to finances, but rather the manner in which he dealt with them. The choice to be open, to reveal his savings, stemmed from a deep sense of affection and confidence. Ultimately, it turned into the tool that fostered separation and discord. His words linger in my mind, a poignant reminder of the delicate nature of family ties when financial matters come into play. The message here is unmistakable and resolute. Although financial stability is crucial for peace of mind, it is the authentic bonds we cultivate throughout our lives that hold the greatest significance. A carefully crafted financial plan is certainly essential, but it's just as crucial to consider the manner in which that plan will be conveyed. The openness that many perceive as a sign of confidence can occasionally lead to unintended consequences, particularly in the context of family relationships. In retirement, choices must be approached with thoughtful consideration, encompassing not just financial aspects, but emotional ones as well. Uncle Prun's story has taught me that it's perfectly acceptable to reserve a portion of your savings for your own needs. This choice embodies the essence of altruism. By safeguarding your security, you are shielding your family from unwarranted stress and discord. A confident caregiver fosters tranquility for all. When one is nurtured and can enjoy their later years with respect, it creates a sense of balance within the family. Take your time before allocating your savings, even if your intentions are good. Take your time, weigh your choices, and above all, keep in mind that the affection of your family holds far greater worth than any sum of money. Sentence 3. Why can't you follow in your siblings' footsteps? This question transcends a mere inquiry. It's a plea for comprehension, a sorrow that resonates within the core of a family, leaving lasting imprints behind. There's a timeless adage, a family brimming with love is a family overflowing with joy. I have always held that belief deep within me. A home ought to be the coziest haven we can imagine, a refuge where we experience support, appreciation, and comprehension. It ought to be an environment that cherishes our individuality and honors us for our true selves, rather than the personas we are anticipated to adopt. However, when we allow previous errors to fester, when we cling to resentments as if they were treasures, or when we permit unattainable ideals to cloud our perception, we inadvertently construct barriers that separate us. As time passes, these barriers rise, and before we know it, those we cherish turn into unfamiliar faces. Isolation seeps into our lives, occupying the void that was once filled with warmth, turning us into captives within our own walls. Having reached the age of 70, I have been fortunate enough to observe the wide range of family dynamics throughout my life. I've witnessed families united by steadfast love and mutual respect, and I've observed others disintegrate from the inside, burdened by resentment and remorse. As the years go by, I've realized that family transcends notions of right and wrong, as well as societal measures of success. It revolves around the serene instances of pardon, of opting to cherish one another even in the face of seeming impossibility. A tale that lingers in my memory, one that strikes a chord within me, is that of my dear friend Thanu and his son, Banging. Their experience revealed a profound truth that continues to resonate with me even now. This narrative explores themes of affection, understanding, and the unforeseen damage inflicted by inflexible standards. Thanu was a man filled with pride, much like many fathers, harboring aspirations for his children that he was convinced were in their best interest. Yet those aspirations were entwined with the allure of riches, prestige, and external achievements, elements he believed characterized a meaningful existence. He held the conviction that true worth in this world is measured by achieving the pinnacle of social status, securing the most esteemed profession, and obtaining the most distinguished qualifications. His son, Ban Gong, however, was an exception to that norm. He didn't possess the same level of ambition and success as his cousins. He was a modest individual with uncomplicated dreams. Ban Gong may not have possessed the degree or the prestigious job his father envisioned, yet he held something far more valuable, a sincere heart, a diligent spirit, and a steadfast kindness. Still, none of that appeared to hold any significance for Thanu. For him, these attributes fell short. Repeatedly, Thanu drew comparisons between his son and others, fixating solely on his shortcomings. "What is it that prevents you from being similar to your cousins?" he would inquire. "Observe them, they possess secure positions, earn a substantial income, and have accomplished all that I aspired to achieve. What prevents you from achieving the same?" Even though these words were spoken out of concern, they only served to deepen the wounds in Ban Gong's heart. His eyes held a deep sorrow as he opened up about his pain to me one day. He expressed that he had dedicated his entire life to earning his father's pride. Yet, despite my best efforts, it always feels insufficient. He only perceives the shortcomings, never the hard work behind them. Those words shattered something deep within me. They conveyed a profound, unvoiced longing, a child's urgent wish to be acknowledged and cherished for their true self, rather than the unattainable ideals they could never embody. Yet, Ban Gong persevered. He toiled with determination, yearning for the possibility that, perhaps, this time, his father would recognize the man he had evolved into. Yet with every attempt, the expectation soared, and his value was assessed against benchmarks he could never attain. Ultimately, overwhelmed by the burden of disappointment, Ban Gong departed. He relocated to Bangkok, believing that by establishing a life distanced from his father's relentless criticism, he could ultimately demonstrate his value. However, as he quickly discovered, separation did not mend the emotional divide that existed between them. Every phone call brought forth an array of questions and a surge of uncertainty. "Is that truly the extent of your earnings?" his father would inquire. "When will you achieve your success?" Every call pierced like a blade, each word echoing the truth that, regardless of his surroundings, he remained insufficient. As time passed, Ban Gong gradually ceased all communication. The gap between father and son widened, manifesting not only in physical space but also in emotional connection. As time went on, the health news started to deteriorate. His previously robust physique grew delicate, and his powerful voice mellowed. Nevertheless, the most challenging burden for him to endure was the quietude. His son's absence. One day, as we sat together, he released a deep sigh and uttered the words that would linger in his mind for eternity. He spoke softly, expressing his desire for his son to have a brighter future. Yet in my efforts to lead him, I inadvertently drove him away. The weight of his words hung heavy in the air, a deep sadness that felt irreparable. I don't require him to hold a managerial position or amass great wealth. I simply wish for his return to my life. That moment, that revelation, marked the pivotal shift. The new understanding emerged that love must be unconditional, recognizing that a son's value is not determined by his career or financial success. With a heart brimming with both sorrow and hope, he set pen to paper and composed a letter to his son. A letter he had postponed for far too long. "My dear Ban Gong, for countless years, I have assessed you through misguided measures. I hoped you would embody my vision, yet I overlooked the reality of who you really are. There's no need for perfection, as you are already everything I could ever desire in a son. I deeply regret the pain I've inflicted. At this moment, there's just one desire that occupies my mind. To have you return home and to understand that my love for you is unconditional, just as you are. If you're still engaged with this video and appreciate the lessons, I would love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below to let me know you're still with me. This correspondence, these expressions, carry significant insights that we must all keep in mind. Family is not a matter of measuring one member against another. It's not about who possesses the greatest wealth, holds the most prestigious position, or boasts the most remarkable accomplishments. The essence of a family is found in its capacity to embrace one another wholeheartedly, cherishing each individual, imperfections included. The connection between a parent and child ought to be rooted not in expectations but in the truest essence of love. Affection that transcends appearances, overlooks shortcomings, and appreciates the essence of shared moments. Sentence 4. Refrain from discussing previous events. A profound saying echoes through the ages. What's past is past, release it to the breeze. Clear and deeply insightful, this guidance reminds us to cherish the now and avoid getting lost in the remnants of the past. As I ponder the many years I've experienced, now exceeding 70, I've come to understand the profound importance of this lesson, particularly regarding family. Clinging to past grievances and repeatedly revisiting old mistakes only serves to exacerbate the wounds, complicating the journey toward healing. It fails to heal the heart, merely pulling it deeper into shadowy depths. Family ought to embody warmth, love, forgiveness, and understanding. It's not a place where every past disagreement is resurrected and laid bare once more. Throughout my life, I have experienced the heavy burdens of sorrow, regret, and disappointment. It is precisely through these challenges that I have gained something truly priceless. At times, the deepest present we can give to those we cherish is the power to forgive, to embrace silence when the urge to revisit past hurts is strong. In reality, certain things must be released permanently, as their lingering existence binds us to suffering and hinders our ability to appreciate the splendor of the present moment. With the passage of time, it becomes increasingly evident how crucial it is to avoid repeating the errors that those around us may have encountered. However, it is essential to keep in mind that our loved ones require our support rather than our criticism of their history. I have seen how our tendency to bring the past into the present can alienate others. I recall my cherished companion, USA. Just hearing her name evokes a flood of memories. She possessed a keen intellect and a profound understanding, a woman who held a genuine compassion for those in her life. Yet, she possessed a singular flaw, a tendency that brought about more sorrow than I think she ever meant to create. The USA struggled to let go of its history. Each error, each act of treachery, every minor offense was revisited and relived as if they could somehow be mended through the simple act of recalling them. The memory of that day lingers, sitting across from her in her home as she poured tea for us both. It was a tranquil afternoon, a moment that called for laughter and fond memories of the past. However, the USA started to revisit, once more, the numerous grievances she had held onto for such an extended period. Her words dripped with resentment as she recounted her feelings toward her older brother, still seething over his choice to leave university, as if it were a betrayal that would forever remain unpardonable. She went on, sharing the story of her younger sister, who, despite her financial comfort, had yet to settle a debt from their younger days. Years went by, and her sister's circumstances had gotten better, yet the debt remained an unpardonable offense in USA's eyes. As I absorbed the words, a profound sorrow washed over me. The atmosphere surrounding us started to feel increasingly hollow, not in a tangible sense, but on an emotional level. Her sons, who had arrived before, started to quietly depart. The eldest, having quietly sipped his tea, offered a strained smile as he excused himself and stepped outside. Her younger son, once captivated by the television, slowly lowered the volume and ultimately stepped outside. This was not the initial instance in which I had observed such conduct. There seemed to be an invisible guideline woven into the fabric of their household. The history would be unearthed, the old scars would be laid bare once more, and their mother would persist until every last person recalled the errors of yesteryear. Her husband, Chan, embodied gentleness, a truly kind-hearted individual like no other. He attempted to engage her in a conversation, his tone imbued with understanding and affection. USA, he would assert, his voice imbued with the gravity of lived experience, revisiting past issues will yield no transformation. It will only push our children further away. However, the USA would dismiss him, believing that by reminding her children of these injustices, she was imparting a valuable lesson. She thought they should reflect on their past errors, yet in reality, she was only widening the gap between herself and her dearest ones. Then, the unavoidable occurred. The USA succumbed to a serious illness, spending months confined to a hospital bed, unable to move, confronting the profound stillness of her own reflections. In that quiet moment, I believe the truth started to take hold. She understood the price of her unwavering attachment to what once was. Indeed, her children came to see her, and they provided financial support for her care, yet the affection, the connection, the bond that had once characterized their relationship had faded away. The lengthy conversations had ceased, and the joyful laughter that once filled the dinner table was now absent. The home that once resonated with laughter now stood silent, remote, and eerily empty. One evening, as I sat beside her in the hospital room, USA gazed at me with tired eyes, her voice scarcely rising above a whisper. I always believed that pointing out my children's mistakes would help them grow, that it would prevent them from making the same errors again. However, at this moment, I perceive the reality. I've distanced myself from them, and I worry that it's too late to make any alterations. Her words struck me with the force of a blade. How often had I witnessed this unfold? How many families, how many lives have been strained and torn apart because someone couldn't release the grip of the past? The age-old truth holds, our families should be the wellspring of our happiness and tranquility, rather than the backdrop for our most profound regrets to linger. By holding on to grudges and constantly bringing up past errors, we construct barriers that isolate us, even in moments of physical proximity. Ultimately, we might find ourselves as the last ones remaining, devoid of anyone to share our affection and comfort with. In reality, life is much too brief to squander on harboring resentments. To maintain the closeness of our families, we must embrace the art of releasing the past. It is essential to embrace forgiveness, to cultivate understanding, and most importantly, to prioritize love instead of harboring resentment. The past is behind us, and it remains unchangeable. The affection we nurture today is what molds tomorrow, and it remains the sole aspect of genuine significance. Words spoken in anger can deeply wound those we hold dear. Cutting remarks can leave scars that may not be seen right away, yet their impact can linger for years, even decades. It is a clear reality that language, while not physical, possesses the remarkable power to elevate or devastate. As the adage suggests, kind words can dispel the chill of winter, while cruel words can solidify the heart for half a year. This phrase conveys a deep truth about the subtle strength that language holds. They can serve as a soothing balm for wounds, providing comfort and connection, or they can become daggers, leaving behind deep, invisible scars that may never completely heal. In times of anger or frustration, when we express ourselves without thought, we might inadvertently set the stage for a pain that endures far beyond our initial intentions. Once those words are spoken, they linger in the atmosphere, frequently changing the trajectory of our connections, especially with those we hold dear, our families. If you're still engaged with this video and appreciate these lessons, kindly drop a 3 in the comments to show me you're still with me. Throughout my more than 70 years of existence, I have been fortunate, and at times burdened, to observe numerous narratives regarding the impact of language on familial relationships. Among the most painful of these was the tale of my beloved old friend, Grandma W. She was a woman of tremendous resilience, a cornerstone in her family, yet even she could not evade the repercussions of harsh words uttered in fleeting moments of rage. Her narrative unfolds with sorrow, not due to outside influences, but because of the careless language she employed throughout the years, words that etched lasting scars on her connections, especially with her daughter, Mame. In her youth, Grandma W had a daughter named Mame, who, like many children, yearned for her mother's affection and validation. However, Mame's journey took a different path than that of her brother. Though others were urged to seek higher education and forge their paths, Mame remained at home, tethered by the duties of the household. Without the chance to break free from her household responsibilities, Mame frequently felt vulnerable to her mother's harsh criticisms. Grandma W., overwhelmed by frustration and impatience, viewed Mame's perceived shortcomings as a significant failure, and she expressed this sentiment without restraint. She would say to Mame, "You're not as talented as your brothers. Some may surpass your abilities. You are simply a weight on my shoulders." These words were more than just severe. They were utterly devastating. Mame, profoundly wounded and bewildered, remained silent, not voicing a single complaint. She took in the sharpness of those insults quietly, bearing the burden of her mother's contempt deep in her heart. Even though Mame never retaliated, a piece of her spirit withered away with every harsh word spoken. She bore the burden of those words, absorbing them as undeniable realities from which she could not break free. Yet, she poured her heart into every effort to uplift her family. Even after marrying and embarking on her own journey, Mame remained devoted to her parents, consistently placing their needs above all else. Still, the unyielding critiques persisted. Grandma W. would often express her disapproval of Mame's husband, labeling him a letdown and drawing unfavorable comparisons to others. These words were akin to unhealed wounds, festering and widening the emotional chasm between mother and daughter. Mame, while devoted and caring, started to retreat emotionally, unable to escape the relentless stream of painful remarks. As time passed, Grandma W.'s once vibrant body started to decline. The edge of her words softened over time, yet her heart followed suit. She grew more and more delicate, in both body and spirit. One day, resting in bed, weak and weary, she came to a heartbreaking understanding. The woman who had once reveled in her biting remarks now felt a deep sense of isolation, longing for the closeness of the connection she had previously overlooked. Her heart, once brimming with pride and defiance, now overflowed with remorse. With tears cascading down her cheeks, she extended her hand to Mame and admitted, "I was wrong. I always believed I had the authority to critique my children because they belonged to me. I believed my stern words would inspire you to improve, yet I failed to see that they merely caused you pain. Though you are present, attending to my needs, the warmth in your gaze has faded. I realize that I've lost something invaluable." And yet, despite the deep ache of remorse in her heart, her regret arrived too late. Mame had faced a lifetime of hurt from her mother's words, and while she still tended to her aging parent, the emotional bond that once united them had faded away. The harm had been inflicted. Even the most sincere apologies couldn't erase the years of emotional neglect and pain that had built up over time. The distance that separated them, once impossible to cross, had only expanded, leaving no hope for reconciliation. The tale of Grandma W. is a poignant yet priceless lesson, one that I will hold close to my heart forever. It serves as a powerful reminder that language, though ephemeral, possesses an influence that is often underestimated. They can either cultivate a bond, enhancing its strength and resilience, or they can dismantle it, creating wounds that might never completely mend. In my own life, I've realized how vital it is to communicate with warmth, particularly to those I hold dear. Once a word escapes your lips, it can never be retracted. So, I ponder, how do I wish my expressions to linger in memory? Will they be celebrated for their ability to mend, or will they be recalled for the scars they left behind? The solution appears straightforward, yet it's a question we should frequently contemplate, as the quality of our relationships hinges on the thoughtfulness we apply in selecting our words. Thank you for tuning in and considering the profound influence that language has on our connections, particularly with those we hold dear. I trust that today's narrative has illuminated how a seemingly simple phrase can profoundly influence a family, for better or for worse. Language holds power, and it's crucial to recognize that our communication with those we cherish can leave a lasting impact. What insights have you gained today? Has this narrative shifted your perspective on how you communicate with those you cherish? I invite you to reflect on a lesson you've gained that you will incorporate into your daily life, be it a greater awareness of your language or an increased compassion for your loved ones. We welcome your insights in the comments section below. If you found this video enjoyable, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. This way, you can stay updated with more content aimed at enhancing our lives and relationships. I appreciate your time and eagerly await your response.